David, we'll start with the news that's leading our headlines this morning. Mr Saunders appointed chairman of Mansfield Town Football Club. Happy man?
Yeah, delighted for Mr Saunders, of course. He's taken the helm and in a seamless way, and certainly made it as easy as possible for everybody at the football club. Everybody knows Andy, and I'm sure he'll fulfil that role to the best of his ability at all times.
In terms of the other news story coming out of it, Mr Perry, former chairman, the club are intending to take Mr Perry to court.
To be honest, David, I'm not prepared to comment on things. I wasn't there at the meeting last night, and so I'm not really prepared to comment on obviously the situation at the club. It's not for me to do. It's really the business side of it. Obviously, the board will take whatever appropriate needs and action that they feel is necessary, and obviously I'll get on with the football side of things.
Now, it's not a new chairman. Mr Saunders has been a board member for a long time here, but what sort of working relationship do you hope to have with him in the coming future?
Well, to be fair, I mean, Andy's always been very straight. He's very precise. He's been excellent company. We've always got on very well, and I don't see any reason why we won't continue in the same vein. He loves the club. He wants the club to do well and support with the club. So as far as the football club is concerned, it's very healthy. In
a statement issued by the club, gave you, the manager, the board and the chairman, their full backing towards you. That's nice as a manager, I expect.
That's all I expect. It's all, they'll get my backing. When we see cutbacks, and I see cutbacks, I haven't spat my dummy out. I don't think the board have done that. We've worked very, very closely. We've gone around this summer. There's been times when it's been very difficult and extremely hard. We wanted to attract the best players at the right times. Timing of signings, I think the board understand it now, where managers come from. They're learning about that part of thing. When you try to get a player that's available at a certain time and circumstances prevail, you do your best to get them through the door. There were players that I had through the door and we couldn't sign at the right time. That's life. That happens, and I understand it. I have to understand it because I work with these people and I enjoy working with them. They've been very good. Mr Saunders, Hymas and Middleton through the summer have understood my predicament, and that's why they understand the position I'm in, and we try to get the best players for the funds we have available. That's always going to be the case, and it should be the case. If they're not available sometimes, then you have to bite your lip and you have to wait and be patient. Patience is something that we're all blessed with, but likewise we're all trying to do the same thing and take this club forward.
The new chairman and the board have said that they feel you have the squad to get this football club back into the Football League. That, I imagine, Dave, is the expectation this season upon your shoulders.
I think it's the same with probably 16 teams this season now, not probably 10 from last season. The league is equipped with teams that have come up and done very well, and with the certainly ability to go further and prosper. As we saw with Fleetwood, a very progressive football club. Newport County, a very progressive football club. Darlington, Grimsby. So it's a very competitive league, and as I said before, I still think it's the second most competitive league there is in Britain, because of the amount of teams vying for what, albeit, is 2 places.
The minimum requirement then, David, is a playoff spot this year.
That's what we're aiming for, of course it is, but there'll be, as I say, I think there's probably 16 teams going for that. There's probably only 2 or 3 that will probably challenge for the top spot, given the ability they have. But I told you before, we're very willing to roll our sleeves up, work our socks off, and do our best with what we have on the table. And certainly, I'm very pleased with the players we have inside the dressing room.
Let's talk about on-the-field matters. In terms of your week so far, I imagine you had a high at the weekend and then a disappointment midweek. A mixed bag then.
Yes, in terms of results, of course, we had an impressive victory on Saturday. I was very pleased with that, and I think that can be looked at in different ways. Where we felt we played very well, and then Forest Green must be congratulated with a fantastic victory against Wrexham, a 3-0 victory. So I think that we can take a lot of good positives out of that. But I think the individual errors, having analysed the game now, seeing that we had 60% of possession, the individual mistakes cost us the game.
3-0 midweek, a fair result, fair scoreline?
It was in terms of goals, because they had really 4 chances and took 3 of them. As I say, individual errors, you can't account for that. If a team comes in and says bing bong bing and says, you know, they've gone out and played great football against you. I felt the second goal was a big goal to give away. It was a little bit sloppy, and we should have cleared the ball. The first goal from a set play, we didn't continue to mark when the ball had been and the area hadn't been vacated. And the last goal we must put down to an individual bit of class. I mean, the boy Vieira is a very good player, so you know, we can pick the bones out of it. But I think the most important thing is that we regroup and start again and come training today, and secondly look forward to the weekend's match.
The teams that win promotion, the teams that achieve promotion in any football league, are the teams that are consistent throughout the season. How do you feel your team needs to find that consistency?
Cut out them individual errors. In fact, that's you know, as I say, the shape of. We had the great lion's share of possession on Tuesday night, but possession is no good if you give away silly goals, and those errors, uncharacteristically, I will say that from you know, players that have been out there and been reliable throughout their careers, and obviously we want them to be more reliable for us. That's why we brought them in.
Individual errors, are those individual errors going to cost players positions on Saturday?
I haven't decided yet, but I certainly think that we've got to make sure that we're more resilient in giving away silly goals, because the first 2 should have been certainly dealt with better. And the third goal, as I say, yeah, put down to a bit of class. The boys put the ball top corner, and really we come away with it having missed a penalty. Had a couple of very good chances. I thought the second half we were very positive. We went there, we played some good football in the second half, and but it was, you know, you give yourselves a mountain to climb.
Injury front, any news on that?
No, we're all healthy, apart from Mark Priest and Robert Duffy still. They're probably still another 10 days, 2 weeks away from challenging for a first team place. And we'll see if we can get them fitter sooner rather than later.
What difficulties will Kidderminster bring to the table at the weekend?
Well, they're a new side like ourselves. They've got, you know, just brought in the boy Williams from Wrexham, who's a very good player. It'll be an interesting game. It'll be certainly a healthy game on a nice pitch, and we're looking forward to going down there.
An important 3 points at this time of the year to build that momentum and build consistency, especially away from home. Something that I think arguably, David, you'd admit that the back end of last season you didn't have that consistency away from home.
Well, overall, David, we were very successful away from home last year, apart from the last few games where we were playing with players in square pegs in round holes because of availability. So you know, I wasn't concerned about that, but likewise, you know, this season, if we can cut out those errors and we can be resolute, and you know, when you look at the back 4, you look at Paul Stonehouse, arguably one of the best left backs in the league. Steve Foster, an amount of experience. Chris Smith, the ex-Tamworth captain, 29, is a bundle of experience. And Gary Silk, the most reliable right back in the league. We shouldn't be conceding goals like that. So I expect a stronger mentality. I expect us to not give cheap goals away. And if that's the case, then we'll be harder to beat. And that's what those players must step up and be counted. The shape of the side the other night was fine. We had to change it second half, but likewise, you know, that mentality when we go away from home, those players, if they want to earn the shirt, will certainly have to be stronger and show the disciplines that we all can, the characteristics of the good defenders that they are.